Hi everyone, I'm Anastasia Rivers and you're watching New Attitude. I'm your host and with me this evening is Miss.
Melanie Johannes-Titre with Interchanges for Girls and Boys Council.
Yes, you're the founder
I
and the
am.
director and everything.
Yes.
Okay, our topic today is about after school program and some of you may know that I am starting New Attitude Parent and Teen Workshop and I decided to invite Miss T3 because I followed some of her work, what she did, and the concept of the program, I really like it. And I want to emphasize how important it is. I want to emphasize to the parents, especially the working parents, how important it is to have your children involved in after school program. And Ms. T3 has one, and you're a teacher as well, right?
I have taught before, but
Okay.
now I'm just doing managing and directing. We have a full staff of teachers on
Okay,
board.
okay, great. So tell me a little more. Tell me what encouraged you to start the Interchanges.
Excellent. So Interchanges for Girls and Boys Council is a nonprofit organization that I founded about 10 years ago. I had took a transfer from the University of the Virgin Islands to Miramar, Florida, and I traveled with my two daughters, who was a teenager at the time. And I was looking in the community for some different resources that could have helped me as a young mother, and I couldn't find that. So I decided I could either be part of the problem or be a solution. So after speaking with my dean, I was able to become certified, and after gaining my certification, I decided to bring it back home to St. Croix for the children of our community. And 10 years later, here I am with Interchanges for Girls and Boys Council.
And I'm glad to hear you say boys and girls, so you know it's not just for girls. And from what I understand, that you had it set up where if you had some kids with behavioral problem, they had to come to you to Interchanges in order to what they had to do. Like they have kids that had a problem, and then they had to come to you. So what was the outcome?
Well, we have several programs, several youth programs under the Interchanges umbrella. One of the programs that Ms. Rivers is explaining is we had a program called Self-Esteem for Girls and Entrepreneurship for Boys. And it's where students can come from 13 to 18, and for girls it's to help them to become well-rounded, help them to focus on academics, and have a place that she could feel safe to discuss all the different issues that we as women go through while growing up. And for the young men, we wanted to keep our young men busy doing something constructive while learning a trade for when they become older, such as several different careers, from computer repair to graphic designs to mechanics to lawn care, and just a whole host of things, because we wanted the young men, when they reach to high school, they can now do community service in areas of career interest. So it would save some time when they go to college. They know exactly what they like to do because they have already had experience in those fields.
Well, I gotta tell you, that's around the line of what New Attitude Parent and Teen Workshop is all about. But when I'm doing it with the boys, boys and girls, but I want the parents. The only difference is I want to include the parents in it. And as I was explaining to you before we came on, is we're gonna have the seniors gonna get a scholarship. But if they might have a high grade point average, but the parents are not participating and are not helping with the fundraising that is going toward the scholarship. So we will more lean to the student that is that the parents are supporting them. And I go that far because the parents have to be the role model for their own children, and all what you're talking about with the skills and all that's what New Attitude is all about. So sometimes we all might be doing it in a different way, but for the same cause, for the children. And you were doing this to get it for your kids.
Right.
And now you have other people's kids that are yours, And as a retired police, I see the need. I can't emphasize to the parents enough how important it is to put your child in an after-school program instead of having them home idle and not doing something constructive. And what Ms. T3 is talking about, I brought on the same thing, and You might wonder, if I have a after-school program that I'm setting up, why I have Anastasia here. The reason why is we have to cover, she can't cover all the kids, and I can't. So we need to merge together, and I see her program as a very solid program, and for being there 10 years, speaks for itself. Our next guest was supposed to be Miss Resa ORielly from Promise, Project Promise BI. She couldn't make it, but we're going to talk about her in the next segment.
In the meantime, I want to shed a little light on the academic after-school program that we have, whereas we're helping parents to make sure that their students are successful by helping them after school. Just like Ms. Rivers was sharing, we know that parents have a lot right now on them, from work to maintaining the home and we just want to be a support to you by making sure that the students are in a safe environment during after school hours. Most children that get into unhealthy activities happens between the hours of 3 and 6 p.m. That's out of school time. So we're having these different programs where parents could go ahead and feel very safe that their children is in a structured environment, excelling in their academics and learning life skills.
Exactly.
Because the program that you're going to be doing is going to promote a lot of different life skills and career and so on. And we do some of that, but we really foster a lot of academics. We even go out and do school visits. We find out how the child is doing, where they need extra help for areas that they're struggling in. So I say to parents, we are here to help. We're here as a pillar. We're here to help you on the journey towards parenting. So be sure to, join in and call us to find out more.
Tell them your location and your number.
Not a problem. I'm located in the Aspire Business Center. It's in the same plaza with E&D, Neighborhood Pharmacy, Music in Motion. We're located right next to Samara's Fashion. Our contact number is 340-719-1725. We're also on Facebook, Interchanges for Girls and Boys Council. We try to put most of our upcoming events or programs on there. You could even reach out to me personally, 340-277-3152. I'm very excited to be doing this collaboration with Miss Rivers. We go way back.
Oh, yes, we do.
And also Miss Resa for Project Promise. She's not here today.
But we're going to talk about her later.
Yes.
But we focus on you right now.
No problem.
And when you talk about academics, we also will be doing that because what we're going to do is eventually include junior high students. And then the high school students will mentor the junior high students and teach them, tutor. Because when you have the age group closer, they will relate to them more.
Right.
And then prepare them for how it will be when they go to high school.
Right.
So we're going to do that, but we also, the retired teacher is going to tutor the seniors and the juniors,
Nice.
so the high school students. So we have retired teacher on board. So we're going to be covering academics. Civics is one of my big things.
Nice.
That's why I had some debates on and forums from candidates. And what we're going to be doing is showing them the footage of it. And we'll have time to discuss. And hopefully we'll get a little mock election before the election.
Oh, that's great.
And get them more involved. And I say involved because then they'll learn the process and maybe eventually run for office too.
That's good.
And do it and contribute in the right way, because then they could balance and match what is going on now and see the errors that some of our political leaders doing and try to correct it and make it better and not to let it happen again.
That's really good too, because it helps the students them to learn to articulate their thoughts.
Exactly.
Help them to be well-rounded on a vast amount of different topics and areas that they have going on into the community. So I think that's awesome.
And with us, when we were talking about collaborating together, is because the island is so small, everybody can't be doing different things. That's why sometimes we're not successful as a people. Like I use this as an example. We have promoters out there. They have events. Instead of all these promoters merge together and have one big event that each one don't have to spend that much money. They're all having the same thing and competing with each other instead of merging as one people. So I'm saying that we as people that are interested in children, it should be like a family. I mean, you got your thing doing, I got mine, but we maybe could itemize a day and a time that we could do something together and reach out. And starting from now, with me sharing my show with you and interchanges. And also what I like to is you have other regular school going on there too?
Yes. We have a homeschool program that is, the curriculum is based online. This is our 4th year. This is our 4th year doing homeschool, but it's our 2nd year doing a fully nationally accredited homeschool online program from kindergarten to 12th grade. And the beauty about this program is the flexibility and the small environment where we're able to focus on the student more than in larger classroom settings.
That's good. So you not only have after school, you have a regular online homeschooling, and I think homeschooling is getting very popular now, with especially in the States, with all what's going on. We got crazy thing going on all over
the world.
and it just people want to keep the children safe, but we also need to have some social skills. They need to learn social skills, and that's where you come in. The same kids could come to your after school program and you know, mingle with your students. So I think it's a good thing, you know. So again, we want to stress to the parents how important it is to get your child registered in an after school program, whether it's with Melanie, myself. Project Promise is a little different. Well, I'll explain that a little more later, but you have choices. There are a lot no new after school program that's coming out. It's not a competition. It's you as a parent have a choice where you want your child to go, and you want the best for your child. And when you have people like us that are passionate about what we do for the betterment of the kids, you can't lose. It's a win-win situation, you know.
And the collaboration is where we could use each program's strengths.
Exactly.
So your strength may not be my strength, but together we will be powerful. So it's not only with Ms. Rivers and I, it's with any other after-school provider, you know, that would want to touch bases with us and see what we could do as a group. And parents, be sure to go out and do a lot of school visits and find out exactly what it is the teacher is going to be given for the entire school year, so you could see where you could help. And try to build a relationship with your child's teacher so your child could have a more successful school year. And lastly, I'd like to say to make sure that you make your expectations clear to your child. Have a sit down, explain to them exactly what grade point average you expect. Please don't be general by saying, make sure you do good in school, because in a child's mind, that might be a C, and in your mind, that might be an A. So please have a nice, open conversation with your child. Sit them down. Please speak from their strengths, not on their weak areas. Speak from their strengths, and then you could then share more information on how you'd like them to improve in those subjects that were challenging for them. But make sure that your expectations are clear so your child could have a successful school year.
Well, I could tell you, I can pitch in more to that. You have to have a good relationship with the teacher. Instead of coming to the school to cuss out the teacher when your child come home complaining, it had to be a reason why the teacher had to maybe verbally discipline your child, instead of getting all feisty and please your child by coming after the teacher. Find out why. I could tell you, because if you form a good relationship with the teacher, they're going to show more caring for your student. Not that they won't teach your child, but they're human. And if they have a parent that's going to come and cuss them out today, how can you put your all into that child? So that's what I'm saying is, find out there's two sides to a story. I could give you an example. I was to the school the other day to get information, to give information to a principal. A parent came in there and complained about a scarf that they took from her child, and that the scarf was sentimental to her, and the monitor tell her she gonna throw away the scarf. Now, later on, the parent left upset wherever she carry on, but the monitor came back later and told the young lady, so was mentioned in the office that she told the young lady, you know you're not supposed to wear that scarf in school. But then later she went in the cafeteria with it on again. So what the monitor supposed to do? Ain't take it from her. But then the parent now gonna come. That was sentimental. So if it's sentimental, why you let the child come to school with it? Or maybe she slip it on. The whole idea was she was supposed to think that, why you bring it in school and you know you ain't supposed to? That's what the parent got to do. But you giving the child all the right by carrying on in the office. So this is just one example that just happened. And my whole thing is to find out, get a good relationship with the teacher, because the first impression is the last.
I would add to that and say, I have 3 children. 2 have already finished school, 1 have already finished college. And when my girls, because there are 2 girls, when my girls was in school, I used to visit school so much because I wanted, when that teacher sees my child's name, my face pops up in her mind. Because there's so many children in school, there are hundreds. I didn't want it for my children to just be a number. I wanted her to know who I am, remember me, that to know that she could reach out to me, go to bad. And when I come to school to resolve the issue. I'm not coming to school to argue or to try to insult the teacher in any way. Because we need to work together for the good of the child.
Exactly.
So I'm just sharing and encouraging parents, please don't let anything stop you from going out to the school and finding out what are the requirements. What is the requirements for your child to pass from that teacher's class? And remember, homework is only 10% of the grade. So you have to make sure that your child is studying for tests and quizzes, they're participating.
And you could do that over by you?
Yes, most definitely. But I just want to show them that this is not a sales pitch. This is genuine, honest people who work with children on a daily basis that is encouraging you to let you know, besides being in an after-school program, how you could help, or in conjunction with an after-school program, how you could assist your child to have a successful school year.
Well, in my area, as a former juvenile detective, I see why kids end up falling on the wayside, because either parents are not involved or they're not doing anything active after school. So they end up coming to me.
Yes.
And I end up arresting them. Some of them end up going in YRC. Some end up changing their life. But that's why I get in this program, because I see where I could offer different alternative for them to stay busy. And also was a DARE instructor, so I use self-esteem and conflict resolution to help them. So in a sense, with the after-school program and have a well-rounded personality or attitude toward learning, the kids can't go wrong.
As you were mentioning about self-esteem, parents' self-esteem starts at home with you. Be real mindful on the words that you choose when you're communicating with your child. Sometimes I'm a parent and you have frustrating long work days and the child come home with something, wait until the next day to address it. Because then you might take out all your work frustration on that child and you might shut your child down for months, if not years. Sometimes some people wonder how you could have gone and tell the teacher, how you could have gone and tell your auntie, how you could have gone and tell your grandmother, because those people made your child feel comfortable. Because every time they come to you, it's always wait, I'm on the phone, wait, I'm coming back, wait when I done work, wait, I'm tired. You see where I'm coming from? So self-esteem starts in the house. And another thing too, when it comes to academics, please build your child's self-esteem. Even if they made a C, act like that's the best grade ever and tell them next time I want to B. And I'm trying to explain to you, these ways is how your child would improve without beating, without punishing, without mean words. I mean, just remember when you was a child, you know? So.
And when we're talking about phone, they need to cut down on that cell phone thing.
Yes.
I'm saying we break so much social barriers because the parent on the cell phone and the child on the cell phone, no communication. Long ago, people sit to the table and eat, and then they talk about how the day was, but now everybody in a corner on the cell phone. It's not nothing wrong with that, but you have to break a time with the cell phone use. Okay? I see somebody smiling there. I guess it's a guilty one across there. So you have to have time for the family. And I remember this child telling me one time, my mother always on the cell phone. And sometimes I feel like slamming against the wall. Now she's older, she on the cell phone. More than her mother, you know. I'm saying, so it's an addiction too. I saw a documentary where this young boy wasn't eating. He stayed in his room on his cell phone, on these games. They carry the food in the room for him because he won't come out and eat. So they end up signing him up in a program, and he went through withdrawal just like a drug. They get so addicted to it, you know. That's why I don't play those games on the phone, you know.
One of the things when it comes to cell phones and tablets and anything that has internet access that parents should be very mindful of is when you give your child a cell phone or any device that has internet connection, you are opening up the gateway to the world. So everything that you don't want them to know just yet, trust me, once you go into school, somebody is going to show them how to do it, how to log on, which website to go on. So it's important that you do parental locks on certain websites. It's important that you knows your child password, and their phone shouldn't have a password. No, so you could be able to go in there at any time to see what your child is viewing. And lastly, if your child has a Facebook account, you need to be one of your child's friends to see and to guide Facebook. Some people feel that Facebook is a negative something. No, to me, Facebook is just like life. It depends on what you put your energies into. You're going to have somebody on your timeline that is saying things that probably you don't agree with. Two things you could do: unfriend them or block them. So you have to teach your child a positive way to have a Facebook page. I see a lot of parents saying, like for the teens, oh, you ain't getting no Facebook page. Don't do that. Allow them to have the Facebook and teach them the correct way, and you be their friend and you monitor it so they could see, because when they go into different dance groups or business groups in school and right into college, when you meet somebody, the first thing they ask you is, what's your Facebook name? This is where people go to learn more about you. So you want to show your children how to behave on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, the whole 9 yards.
You know, when you apply for a job, they go to your Facebook page and they check what you be putting on Facebook. And I can tell you, I know people that was hired for a job, but once they check what you put on the Facebook, they said, we can't use you because XYZ. So you still got to watch what you put on Facebook. As young as you are, they could go back and see that. And also adults, and some parents don't want their children to be friends with them on Facebook because of what they put up themselves. So I ain't claiming to be no perfect parent, but I think I was a good one. I raised my children and to be adult. I have 3 of them, and the teachers used to think each of my kids were the only child. Because of how I used to go to the school. So they say, you had more children? I could have sworn that was your only child. I went to the school, especially when I worked 3 to 11. I used the daytime to go and check.
As you were saying that you don't claim to be a perfect parent, I would say that I was a very open parent. I never hide anything from my kids, and there is nothing that they couldn't ask me or I would think is too out the way. Because you have to remember, what you don't answer, somebody else will. So I see like a lot of inappropriate things happening with teens. When you see it, sit your teen down and explain to them and show it to them. Don't hide it from them, because whether you realize it or not, they're seeing these things in school or when they're not in your company. So the best person to explain it is you.
That's a good point, but we're running out of time. But before we close the show, today is a special day. Being your birthday, I decided to recognize your birthday with a little cake. So I don't have the candle, but we're going to cut the cake. And I'm going to sing happy birthday with my groggy voice. I want a little help in the audience there. And two. 1, 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Melanie. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for coming on your
Yes.
birthday for my show. You could have done something else with a hobby or whatever, but I appreciate you being here, so I had to show you my appreciation. And now you could cut your cake.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate this so
Yeah,
much.
I
That's a sweet
appreciate you.
gesture. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Cut your piece first.
No, you cut you, get yours first. Get yours first.
This is awesome. Thank you.
And of course we're gonna chop down on the cake right in front of the camera. It's a carrot cake. And one taste for the birthday girl.
Nice.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching New Attitude. We'll be back to talk about Project Promise with Resa about Resa ORielly. Welcome back. We were here earlier with Melanie Titre for Interchanges, and we covered a lot about after-school programs and how parents will interact with the teachers and what have you. But right now we're going to talk about Miss Resa ORielly for Project Promise VI. Ms. Resa couldn't be here because she's with her students for the after-school program, and I didn't want to not have anything to say and to just say she couldn't make it. I wanted to share a little bit about Ms. ORielly program. She is the founder and director of Project Promise, and from what I understand, she started from the kids from the 5th grade, and those were her caterpillars, and she's blooming them into butterflies. So she's following them from the 5th, 6th, 7th, all the way up to junior high, and she's going to follow them all the way to high school with the same group. And she has the same group that she started with, and they do a lot together, a lot of after-school programs, and I must say that I'm impressed with it that she keep them on. And we spoke at length about the kids that started with a 54, the lowest had 54 points in the grades, and the lowest now has an 80 in the grades. So they have been moving up, and they have a success story where she share with the kids. They do a lot of activities in the community. I know for sure they do something similar to what I did. They do it to Lagoon, and what I'm doing with my program, they're teaching them about cleaning the area. They have signs with anti-litter. They go into neighborhoods. They went as far as raising money, and I think she mentioned they raised $9,000 for a school in Africa. So they're not just doing things here in the community, they're spreading abroad. And with her effort, the Project Promise was named Best New Nonprofit Organization by the Chamber of Commerce. The same year, I was named Best New Business of the Year by Chamber of Commerce. And I'm very active, more active in the Chamber because of how they're reaching out to different people and recognizing them. So it's a good organization to join. But back to Project Promise, I'm going to read a few things here because I can't remember everything. It said, the organization is dedicated to improving the lives of at-risk youth on St. Croix, from life coaching and personal wellness to academic tutoring, community service, cultural programs, family services, and more. The Caterpillar Project provides St. Croix at-risk youths and opportunities for positive change in a safe, secure, nurturing environment. This holistic approach program was founded by Resa ORielly, who wanted to truly make a difference in the lives of our youth. 2018, we continue to focus on helping our community and families rebuild and restore their lives through our service project and implemented our synchronized trauma intervention program. I guess that's about right after the hurricane. In addition to helping our community, we took our giving abroad after I returned home from a service trip in South Africa. And this is where she raised $9,100 as part of a community service component to educate 30 South African preschoolers. We have seen a remarkable growth in our lives and of our caterpillar. And she mentioned here in June 2016, the lowest grade was 54, and I get tongue-tied. Today, the lowest grade is 80, and now we have 3 first honor students and a list of other accomplishments and improvement. She gave a lot, but because of the length is a lot that she covered. As far as the going into the community, they have a memorial garden that they did in JFK. They planted trees at Lagoon, and they painted the tires similar to what we did. And I was surprised when I saw that, because we doing that too with No Attitude Parent and Teen Workshop. I also have a picture of the caterpillars in a nice, pretty white outfit. And there's a picture we're going to show with Miss ORielly. I haven't met her. I met her once, but we didn't meet before this evening. But what she wrote and how I was following the program, I see it as a very positive program. And I was saying to her, maybe she need to have another team so that they start from the 5th grade and follow through, so that the next set of 5th graders don't miss out. But funding is the problem, and I told her we could collaborate together. And as I was saying to Ms. Titre about us joining together and being able to raise funds to help our program and not just be dependent on grants, because grants run out. And we have to go through the whole process of filling out for it again. And meantime, the program got to keep going. So what we need to be doing is different activities and merge together as one. The Caterpillar program is really good. And the Project Promise, like she said, she kept her promise. She started with 5th grade, and the kids are in junior high now, and she's heading to high school with them. Coming up, some are in 9th grade, and some, they're going to be graduating, going to high school. So it's a good program. Again, I'm encouraging parents to get the children in after school program. And when we were talking about parents, we don't want you to feel like we were scolding and putting you down. We just want to encourage you to do your best, put your best forward, and that's all you could do, because nobody sent us or nobody gave us a book on how to be a parent. God bless us with our children, and we could only do our best. But if you drop the ball, your child will suffer in the long run. As long as you raise them to be good adults, it's all up to them what they're going to do when they become adults. But your responsibility is for your children. They didn't ask to come here, so we have to nurture them and provide the best for them and not for ourselves. The time to be for yourself when they come adults and you do what you want. You either don't have no kids, or when you have them, you put your all in it, and when they get big, that's the time for you to do what you want to do. Like what I'm doing now. My kids are big, and I'm doing what I want to do, and this has always been my passion, to put it into other people's kids and help them to be productive citizens in our community. So I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope one day I could get to have Miss ORielly on, but she's with her kids. Right now, about now, she's dropping them off, because she had transportation. She picked them up from school, go to her program, and then some parents come and pick up, or she have to drop them off. So, you know, each one, that's what we do. We put our all in it, and I don't want to take her away from her kids. And so I know she's going to be watching, and I thank Ms. ORielly for providing the information. And you'll hear more about Ms. ORielly, you'll hear more about Ms. Titre and No Attitude Parent and Teen Workshop. So again, I want to thank you for watching. Have a good evening.